Welcome back to Liho Sports. This is a bit of a different video. It is only me this time. We do not have Ben here today, sadly. But I'm going to be talking about my New York Giants. So, I was originally going to make this video after the devastating Week 3 loss to the Atlanta Falcons that the Giants faced at home, losing on a last second field goal. But this, as of the day that is recording, this is after week 4, after the Saints Giants game, where the Giants pulled off an overtime victory in New Orleans. And I'm going to be talking about Daniel Jones as a franchise quarterback. My thoughts, my opinions, all that sort of stuff. So this isn't going to be a long podcast. This is like a short segment. So, Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. Yesterday was arguably, if not definitely, his best game as a quarterback in his career. Let me pull up his stat line real quick. Daniel Jones in the game against New Orleans. This is a bit of a unscripted video, so keep that in mind while I'm trying to find the stats. So Daniel Jones was 28 of 40, throwing for 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Now, I will say that what he did on the field looked more than just what his stats said. That was the most dominant game I've seen Daniel Jones play, and that's including the comeback in his first ever start against Tampa and the game against Washington, where he threw for his previous like 300 something yards, had like 5 touchdowns, and it was a shootout, and the Giants ended up winning. I think because of the defense, because of the emotion that was in the stadium. This was the first time any fans were in the Superdome since 2019. So you can imagine a lot of Saints fans are like, "Yay, we're finally watching football in New Orleans," especially after what they have just been through. And for Daniel Jones to come out and play the way he did. By the way, that one pick was at the end of the first half was a Hail Mary. Um it's a fluke of a pick that is his first interception of the season, which is great to say, especially how his O line played the first few weeks. His O line played a lot better today. I actually don't think the Saints had a sack, which is incredible considering. Yeah, Saints did not have a sack on 40 pass attempts from the New York Giants. The Saints did not have one sack. Probably had pressures or something, but they didn't have a single sack, which isn't very impressive by the Giants offensive line, that is, considering how much they suck. So, anyway, back to the topic. Is Daniel Jones a franchise quarterback? Yes, I think he is. I think he had one of the worst start anyone could have had in terms of where the organization was at when he was drafted. He was drafted 6th overall in the 2019 draft. And he was going to sit behind Eli and this terrible offensive line. The only reason the offensive line was even decent was because Eli was smart enough to read basically any defense in the league. His IQ was probably top 15 of all time, so hence why the O line was playing above their standards, and they still sucked. So to have a rookie quarterback come in and he balled out, but he threw a lot of picks. He made a lot of mistakes. He showed that he was a rookie quarterback. A lot like what's happening with Zach Wilson right now and with the Jets. The Jets team is not the best built, but then again, this is the first year of this new regime and rebuild. They've already spent 2 picks on O line, I believe. They have their quarterback and they're trying to find a new way. And Jets just came off of their first win of the season, overtime against the Titans. Also, first time ever that the Giants and Jets won an overtime game on the same day. Great fact for you. I found that out due to Red Zone. Thank you, Scott Hansen. Anyway, Daniel Jones. He went from having 40 turnovers in his first 20 games to in his last 9, he has 3, which is increasingly impressive, even if his offensive coordinator sucks. I've told many people this. I think Jason Garrett is the worst offensive coordinator in the league. I think he should get fired probably by the end of the season, if not sooner. I don't think anyone should lose their job, but something needs to change. But what happened yesterday showed that Daniel Jones has every bit of skill to be a franchise quarterback. When the game was on the line, down 11 in the fourth quarter, he put the team on his back, made the throws, made the plays, and got his team to where they needed to be. His deep ball accuracy has always been what everyone praises him for. When they finally call deep shots, he fucking hits it. Sorry for my language, but look at the throw to John Ross. That thing was on a dime. Look at the throw to Saquon Barkley. Blown coverage, but still good play, good catch, and boom, touchdown. Two of his two touchdowns were both deep balls. Like, come on. This man is meant to be throwing the ball deep, and Jason Garrett has been less than ideal as a coordinator for him. Personally, this is all personally. I think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. I don't even think it's going to be with the Giants. I think we're going to fire everyone. We're going to use Daniel Jones as a stopgap quarterback. We're going to use our two first round picks this year to build out the rest of the team, play pretty decently. Depending on how he does next year, the GM either re signs him or drafts whoever the fuck he wants. Whoever this GM is, I still think it's going to be a new GM. I think Gettleman's going to get fired because we're already 1-3 and we're hoping to be making the playoffs in what is known as a bad division. Yeah, we're a bad division, but I think the Cowboys are actually legit now, and that was shown. I think actually the best place for Daniel Jones is Denver. Hear me out. Pat Shermer, the head coach of the Giants, when they drafted Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was drafted to be in a Pat Shermer offense, meant to be in that West Coast style of offense. Pat Shermer got fired after his first year, and Jones had to learn a new playbook under Garrett, under Judge, and now he's finally getting that repetition of having that same playbook. Well, if the playbook isn't meant for him, how is he meant to execute properly? In Shermer's offense, he was good, but now he's limiting the turnovers. He has better awareness. His throwing decisions are better. So imagine him in that offense as a better playmaker. His running ability, his I don't think it's improved as much as it's been more utilized, but having that opportunity would be perfect for the Broncos because Pat Shermer is their offensive coordinator and he knows how to call a game. Pat Shermer knows how to call a game. That's the one thing I give the Giants credit for is when Pat Shermer was there, he was a good game caller, but he sucked as a head coach. There's a difference. Being a good game caller means you can call good plays. Being a good head coach means so much more. He was not able to keep the locker room. He was not good at time management. He just wasn't a good head coach. I'd love Pat Shermer as an offensive coordinator, sucked as a head coach. But I think that's how Daniel Jones would succeed because there's some people who think Daniel Jones can't even make it out of his rookie year. Daniel Jones is a top 15 quarterback, but no one wants to admit it. After what happened yesterday, he's better than Darnold. He's all of the mid-tier quarterbacks that you can think of. Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins. He's in that list of top tier, almost elite, not exactly elite, the middle. He's in the middle ground. He's no longer in that bottom 10 of the quarterbacks that are in the league, the rookies, the Ben Roethlisbergers, those types of guys. He's not them. He is the Kirk Cousins, the Teddy Bridgewater, the stopgap, the Tyrod Taylors, they're serviceable, but in the right scheme. I mean, Pat Shermer made Case Keenum. He brought Case Keenum to the NFC Championship. If that doesn't prove what Pat Shermer can do as an offense coordinator, I don't know what does. Case Keenum went to the NFC Championship under Pat Shermer. So let that sink in for a second. Case Keenum went to University of Houston. Don't even know if you guys know where University of Houston is. I don't. I just know it's in Houston. I hope it's in Houston. It's called University of Houston. Tangent. Anyway, Daniel Jones, quarterback, franchise. I think he could be a very good franchise quarterback. Do I hope it's with the Giants? Sure, why not? Do I think it's going to be with the Giants? No. But I'm tired of people saying Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback because you know what? He's a good quarterback. He just has been in a bad situation. I mean, not everyone's going to get drafted by Belichick and go to a Super Bowl in 2 years. No one's Tom Brady. But given the weapons, given the tools, and given not a crap team that's going to go 4-12 and then draft a running back, that was just a shot at Dave Gettleman for being an incompetent GM. Given the proper tools, Daniel Jones can be a franchise quarterback, not just like a serviceable franchise quarterback, like a legit franchise quarterback. And I think we saw that the most yesterday. And I hope we continue to see that. I hope he continues to improve. I hope he goes into Dallas next week, throws for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm okay with him throwing picks if that means he's taking deep shots. Don't be stupid picks on slant routes when people are double covered. Like, if Trayvon Diggs continues his streak and gets a pick next week, but it's on a 58-yard deep shot to the end zone to Kenny Galladay, I'm okay, or Kadarius Toney, whoever, I'm okay with that. But if it's on a curl route, 5 yards out, and he baits you into it, that's bad. That is a sign of how good Trayvon Diggs probably is after having a bad rookie year. I don't think people preface this enough. He had a good and a bad rookie year. He was either burnt toast or top 15, 20 corner covering. He's a great ball. I actually think he'd be a better safety than a corner, but that's just me. If Daniel Jones goes in next week, 350 yards, 2+ touchdowns, 1 pick, no fumbles, and the Giants win or lose by 7 or less, I think he will without a doubt be certified as a top 15 quarterback in this league. And that is, however you can look at it, that's my opinion. That's how I feel. But if you look at the stats right now this season, I'm going to pull up Daniel Jones' stats for this year. This is from Pro Football Reference. So this season, he's 1-3 with a 66% completion percentage, 1,184 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's just passing. If we look at his rushing stats this year, in 4 games, he has almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, that is not accounting for the CJ Board hold. The He actually would be over 200 yards if it wasn't for the CJ Board hold on his touchdown on that Thursday night game, which actually would have broken or would have set the record that Lamar set that Sunday. And in terms of turnovers, where is turnovers? There we go. So in 2019, which was his first and only year under Pat Shermer, he went 3-9, throwing 62%, having 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 12 picks. Now, 24 touchdowns is great. His red zone efficiency was so much better under Shermer than it is under against Garrett. But 24 touchdowns to 12 picks. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. That's more than acceptable from a quarterback. If Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns and 25 picks, yes, that is a lot of picks. But you're not really going to complain when he's giving you 55 touchdowns, 50 touchdowns, and you're winning games. You're not going to complain when you're taking those deep shots. And majority of his interceptions are on deep shots for Patty Mahomes. So having that is good. But then you look at 2020. Now, of course, 2020, crazy season, COVID, no preseason for Jones, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new playbook. New O line had new left tackle in Andrew Thomas, who didn't also have a preseason and sucked. But I will say this: Andrew Thomas has been one of the best tackles in the league this year. You don't. That's not even just me. You can look at Pro Football Focus. You can look at other people who use grading skills. You can see Andrew Thomas is not just the best offensive lineman of the Giants, but he is a very serviceable left tackle. Jones threw 11 touchdowns and 10 picks in 2020. That is terrible. And you saw it. You saw how much Daniel Jones sucked. But you also saw the flashes of how great he was. Perfect example. Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday Night Football in in the Meadowlands. Daniel Jones probably made three of the worst throws I've ever seen in my life. The throw in the red zone that was picked, the forced interception on I don't even know what it was. He was like falling, he was like rolling out and ducked it, and I think Carlton Davis picked it off. And then there was one more where he just got red. He just got red. He did not make a good decision. It was bad. But then he makes a throw to Golden Tate that is on a seam in the back of the end zone to where only Tate can catch it. He catches it, and we get the touchdown. We need the 2-point conversion. Then he makes the 2-point conversion play and throws it way too late. That was everything that Giants fans hated about Daniel Jones. He would show the flashes, but he was never consistent. He always made mistakes. This year, you rarely see those mistakes. Yes, the fumble in the first week, bad decision. Should have covered up. It's only first down. You can't be diving for the first down in that situation. But he hasn't had much of those since. Atlanta game was terrible. Atlanta game sucked. I was gonna have probably the biggest rant you've ever heard, but I decided not to do that. One, because it'd be a lot of swearing. Two, it's gonna happen again this season, so you guys will get to see me rage at some point anyway. But I'm coming off a good weekend with a good win, and the first video back, I'm talking about Daniel Jones. And I firmly believe that he will be a franchise quarterback, even if it's not with the Giants. Look out for this weekend, the Giants Cowboys. Watch Daniel Jones. You will see the improvement in his game, and you will see that he is definitely a top 15 quarterback. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys made it to the video, this long into the video. Um, Comment down below anything you guys want to see from us, me, Ben, or us together. I'm we're in we're talking about doing more one-off stuff and more solo stuff as well. But we want to get back into it. I miss doing this channel, and I think you guys miss hearing us talk about sports. It's always fun to talk about sports and have something to talk about. So leave a like, subscribe, and look out for more videos to come in the future. Peace.